the Got Her Back podcast.
Hey, ladies.
Go Meg. Go Meg. Go Carrie.
I can't believe I've never heard that.
Me either.
That should be our anthem.
Go Meg.
Yeah, go,
Go
Meg.
Meg.
That's going to be our summer anthem.
Let's do it.
At your pool with your Megan tattoo?
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, I'll take a Sharpie and mark out, X out the A and the N. Go Meg.
Go Meg.
Hey, we have to remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, I cannot wait for summer.
Oh my God.
But yes, do I want a pool barbecue day? Yes, check. Yes, check. Yes, I need
Bet.
that.
I just
can't
love
wait.
anytime I'm with you guys.
Yeah,
I will
me too.
show
Same.
up even though I'm tired.
Even though y'all have to listen to my kids argue in the pool for like the first 30 minutes until I lose my shit. Megan knows I'll like start screaming and then one of them will get out or something. They will try to drown each
Remember
other.
the first time I yelled at Maddie and she was like,
She didn't want to talk to you for days.
Yeah, she was like in the pool and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Have you never been yelled at?
No.
And she was little. She was like probably 4 or 5.
She's
Oh my
little.
God, I felt kind of bad. I just have a loud voice. So.
Are you a yeller? Me too.
My kids are like
At my kids,
immune.
yes. Well, I mean, it takes a while, but I'll yell at my kids.
Oh, I'm like a yeller.
I'm a yeller.
I don't know. Do I yell at my
Yeah.
kids?
No.
I've never
I
heard you
think I do.
yell at your
Girl,
kids.
stick around.
Okay. I'm always
I try to be soft with my kids just because I grew up in a crazy environment. So I
Right.
think I've always tried to consciously
well, that's why sometimes every time after I yell, I think about, I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids are gonna need
therapy.
to heal from this trauma.
No.
All of our kids will be on a couch one day.
Hey,
talking
these
shit
kids
about
these
us.
days, they need tough skin, so
Yeah.
it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, think about when our little ones go out into the world. It's like throwing them to the wolves right now. Imagine 10 years from now. What?
Maddie
in
will
the
be
world?
fine. Maddie will be fine.
Yeah, she will be fine.
Yeah, she'll be fine. I think. Yeah, for sure.
They will.
So what are we talking about today? I guess since we're talking about our littles, we can talk about advice to our younger
Our littles,
self,
our
Yeah.
own, our
our
personal,
own little self.
our littles inside of us.
Yeah, I love this topic. I think there was actually a book that I found a long time ago that was titled something like that, and it had all these letters that people had written, that they would write to their younger self, and I thought that was really cool.
But how do you tell someone, especially like people who have gone through trauma, like how do you even heal from just going back to that?
Counseling.
Well, yeah, but
I think it depends on what part of your life, right? Because it's different. Like when I look at all the traumas throughout my life, like how I handled it as a kid was obviously different than when I handled it as an adult. And depending on also what type of loss it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got anything from death to losing a friendship to losing a marriage. It's all at the end of the day kind of grief. But I think that it's sad to say that I feel like sometimes I've learned to live in the chaos, and I thrive in the chaos. And so because I've had to have so much trauma in my
live
life.
in survival mode.
Right. And so at some point, and probably faster for me than others, my survival instincts kick in, and then I'm like, okay, Megan, you've been here before. Like, you're going to be okay,
And I think to your question, like if you're wanting to help somebody or give somebody advice or anything like that with something you've experienced, I think it's just like humanizing yourself and throwing yourself under the bus. Basically, like, hey, I've done this, and this is how I felt, and this is what I did, and if I could change it, this is what I would do. I think it's just by like being real, and honest.
I mean, because I said it earlier today. I said, sometimes when you don't want to be an adult, go back to your inner child. But what if people don't want to go back to their childhood? I think about
I would
that.
never.
I'm like, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was bullied a lot in like middle school, high school. So it's like, I had a lot of friends because I was I think we've talked about this before, because I was a really good athlete. I think that like saved me, but I had a lot of guy friends, but not that I didn't have guys that didn't make fun of me, you know what I mean? Because I did, but I just was like kind of the ugly duckling, right? But so I just leaned on
when you say that,
oh,
it hurts
I
my heart.
was. Oh my gosh.
You weren't.
Oh, I was.
I think we were all like awkward at
No,
that age.
I was
just
like
that's an
the
awkward
ugly
stage.
duckling. But I think that if I had to tell my younger self something, it would be like, it's never as bad as it seems. It's hard to think that or see that in the moment when you can't see past today or tomorrow, but like my younger self, like I tell myself all the time now, like I'm thankful that I was a late bloomer, because you go back to that 10 and 20 year class reunion and those people, like the ones that were really pretty are freaking ugly now. And I'm like, and the ones that were cute are freaking balding. And I'm like, there you go, bitch. Take that. I'm like, and I'm still cute when the lights turn on. So, it's just, I'm thankful that I was a late bloomer, because I feel like I've got to experience being cute. And not that I'm some pretty whatever, but, longer in life. It's like one thing if you're pretty in high school and that fades away quickly. For some people it does. And whatever, we have kids, we get a stressful job, we deal with tragedy, all of those things. But I think that, bullying's still around to this day. Taryn, has had issues with that.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Kids are just ruthless,
oh,
honestly.
girl. I just tell Taryn, I'm like, Taryn, he has no clue, like, how cute he is. So I just am, like, trying to, like, be okay with that. Because the minute that he figures out how cute he really is, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be in trouble.
That little switch will
You know
flip.
who he has the hots for? Haven't told you guys this. Guess who has the hots for?
Who?
Freaking Sam.
So does Brylan. Brylan
Yes.
has the hots for Sam.
I'm like,
God.
He's asked me many times, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
boys, stop.
It's that red hair, girl.
They
I think
love
it's that
it.
red hair.
It's her butt.
It
too.
is.
Come on.
I told.
Are they going to be embarrassed because you're...
No. Well,
I
Taryn
mean,
might, but
maybe.
Brylan,
Yeah, the other day I was like, talking about Sam was having some issues, and he was like, maybe she just needs some good loving from me.
Oh.
And
Brylan thinks of things. Brylan thinks of services he can get from her. Like he schedules appointments to spend time with her.
oh my
Does Sam
gosh.
listen to our podcast?
I told
knows.
Sam. I
I've
told
told
her.
Sam.
I told her the other day, and now we
Sam
just laugh
worked
about
with me
it.
for a long time and be like, Sam, and she
Yeah.
just oh my.
That's what she told me. She was like, Megan, she was like, Carrie said that Brylan had the
See?
hots for me. And she was like, and so now when he calls me, I'm like, she's like second guessing. Like, you know what I mean? So
She knows. She's on to him now.
But with Taryn, he's only 17 and she's like 28, I think. And so I'm like, I mean, if he was,
I think she's older than that now.
is she? I don't know. I mean,
We still put her.
yeah, like
I
she
still
might be,
had her at 23 forever.
I don't
but
think she's 30. I don't think she's 28.
she's 28 or 29.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I
I don't think
I
she's
think
hit her
there's just
30th.
always something
I hope I'm not
about-
making her older right now.
I think there's just something about someone being older. That
It's
Well,
her
Taryn
body,
does it.
it's
Oh.
her face, it's her hair.
She's a pretty
beautiful.
girl.
Yeah.
you
It's her
know?
personality.
Yeah.
She's like cool,
Yeah.
So I think it's all of it.
Yeah.
You gotta love Sam.
Tells you like it is.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
she's sweet. Yeah, I love Sam.
I do too.
Yeah. So what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that it's okay to not be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
a good one.
Because I just felt like I always like I'm not a people pleaser now, but when I was younger,
It's okay to say no.
yeah, I would get butthurt if someone didn't like me. But you
Yeah.
know what? I'm at this point. I'm like, why did I even care?
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's maturity.
It's popularity. You know, like I really don't care if this person doesn't like me. If this person has this opinion about me.
You're like, bye.
Yeah,
I'ma
because
still
you
live.
you've learned to put your
But
bubble wrap
Yeah,
wrap it
I've
up.
learned a lot through the years. But yeah, that's why I don't have a whole lot of friends.
I would say ask for help.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Ask for help maybe. Like that could be like as a young mom or whenever you're younger, like just voicing like what you need.
But it's so hard for teenagers to actually admit that they want help.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
Because they know
being-
everything.
I mean, can you imagine yourself being a teenager and say, "Man, I really need help. Who do you talk to? You can't talk to your parents. You can't talk to."
I still
guy,
do it.
you
Maria. No.
So
Yeah.
it's hard. But yeah, I guess starting off with just admitting that you.
I
need
think
help
another
and
one
you
I would
wanna-
tell myself is like, don't cover for others. Like, because then when shit comes to the forefront, then you look like the crazy one, you know? So it's like, don't be so shamed or embarrassed to, even as much like I always say, I keep it 100. I would be lying if I said that there weren't things that I didn't, over the years keep to myself. And a lot of that was, like issues, like major issues in my marriage, right? So I put on this happy face and this smile and acted like everything was okay. And, like, you don't have to cover for others. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard enough to just like keep yourself in check. So,
I would say these boys don't matter.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think in business too, like probably for my younger self, I would be like, always like bet on yourself, like I'm good at, like, I'm not scared to take risks. So the risk taking is not what scares me, but it's like not giving in to the negative self-talk, like I've had an amazing career and I hope that, like, as crazy as it sounds at 46, like I hope this is just the beginning. Like I hope it just continues upwards. Right. Where I am even from 5 years ago, I would have never imagined I was at this pivotal moment in my career, or even doing this podcast with you ladies, you know what I mean? And so I think telling my younger self, like, goodness, like, you are capable as long as you put your mind to it and put the work and the effort in. And that's, I think, the piece that a lot of people, they see my life now and they don't realize that, like, there were times where I couldn't even pay the electric bill, like, or we didn't have, like, I'm shopping with coupons so that we could keep food on the table, or I'm calling my dad to borrow a credit card to replace the refrigerator because I can't afford to eat out. And us eating at home is like eating, stovetop and, like the basic necessities.
Man, the young struggles.
Right. So it's like knowing that all of that, like, keeps you humble.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And I think it's like whenever I find myself being like the old person, like when Brylan calls me for issues like that and for advice and stuff like that, and he's just like panicking, like it's such this big thing, and you're like, it's not a big thing, it's so small, but like, yet whenever you're young, it just seems like the end of the world,
Right.
So I don't know, I would just say, like, it'll be okay.
Another thing would be probably like don't conform
Oh yeah.
to what people think you should be.
Right.
Like always be don't
Authentic.
be
Right.
authentic to your true self. Don't be afraid to speak up. Like if you don't want to do something, don't do it, but peer pressure and teenagehood, like
It's so
that
rare
comes
though
with
to
it.
see a young girl or a young kid in general that is super authentic, that
Yeah.
is not scared to be different and all that stuff. So I have a niece and that's how she is. And I just love that about her. Like, it's Ruby, but she's so different from any girl that you will meet her age, but she has no idea and doesn't care. And I like,
But to me, that's
could
what makes her
respect that.
super special.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm thankful for social media when I see teenagers and expressing themselves and, not caring about what Mr. Schmojo feels or, like just be your true self. You want to wear purple hair? Wear purple hair,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah, I felt like I did
I
a
would say
lot of
try new things, like, because when you're young, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of words that adults and other kids, like words that they speak over you, and you start making them, like, you'll start describing yourself in that way because somebody else described you in that way. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of an example, but I mean, whenever I was younger, people would say like, oh, she can't even draw a stick figure. So I thought I was not artistic, but I had never really tried.
Yeah.
And so I think if, I would tell my younger self, just try like as many things as you can until you find your passion. Because I wish I would have found my artistic ability before age 30, but it took all the way until age 30 to even realize, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I wish I would have known. Like whenever I sit and draw with my children and see that aspect in them as young as they are, I wish that I would have done something like that whenever I was younger, or, just tried things so that
I think it's like, that's part of like not living with regret. I used to think that too, like, well, what if I would have just started my business, right out of college? But, I don't think I was
I
ready.
would have failed because
I was not ready.
Wouldn't have had like the personal growth enough to be able to handle
maturity.
Communication with clients and things like that. I think that God knows when the perfect opportunity
Right.
is, because I would not have been able to handle it because my business exploded really, really fast. So I think if I would have done that at age 18, I would have effed it up.
Crashed and burned. Yeah, same. I mean, I think that like my first job out of college, after I got my degree, like taught me a lot. It taught me and it's also kept me humble because I knew I didn't want to go back to working in corporate America, and I would do whatever it took and worked as hard or as many hours as I possibly needed to in order to not go back to that because I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Another advice I would probably, a good one, not just for me or just for everybody, is if you feel too comfortable, get out.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get too comfortable.
You never grow inside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And I tell my girls that all the time. Like, you have to feel uncomfortable or you're never going to grow.
Yeah. Or if you feel, and I don't mean this in a bad way, if you feel like you're the most successful in your circle, you need to find a new circle.
Some people love to be that.
No, but you want people to just
You want people to challenge you, and push you, to be better.
I'm not like hanging out with y'all. I'm like down here, like
we got
y'all like tell me something.
No, we always got like just goals. Like you want goal oriented people, and sometimes I feel there's probably people that are like, well, why did you leave your hometown? You could have done that there. I wouldn't have grown there.
Yeah. You have to change your environment. You have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny. I went, it's been a couple months back or whatever, and Aunt Kathy, she had a retirement party, and a lady approached me and she's like, hey, Megan, I wanted to know, how did you know Heath Barnett? And I was like, so I go on to tell her, I'm like, well, we've started doing business together, and I was interviewing, brokers, and it was down to him and another one. And because he was from a small town, I just felt the small town connection. Well, literally a week ago, he texted me and he was like, hey, I had dinner with her, and she was just going on and on about how you talk so kindly about me and how we're both from small towns and how we've made it. He goes, a lot of people here don't even know what I do. And he was like, so that really meant a lot, and I appreciate our friendship. So it's paying it forward or whatever. It just, I was just in general conversation telling her how I knew him. And then it turned out that it really obviously made an impact, a big enough impact for her to bring it up at a dinner later on, a few months later.
You gotta love your small town when you're young too.
I
would tell myself, my younger self, enjoy the small town.
Yes.
But I would always be like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. But we went back last week and spent the whole day there one day. We just had the best time. Me and my mom were just making the rounds, and she was hanging out, looking at cars with my dad and stuff like that. And it was just you really appreciate it whenever you're younger. But when you're older, but when you're younger,
you were
you're hate it. Cause you just want to get out of it so bad. But I don't know. I would think I would just appreciate it and appreciate the community and the people a little bit more.
I just love the things that, and I know that the times are different too, but looking back at everything we could do, simply go out and play outside, and it not as be in the city, you can't really do that, especially not today. You worry about, not that kids don't get kidnapped in small towns, but everybody knows everybody in a small town. And so it's less likely.
They just look out for each
other
a lot more.
It just, it's just a different feel. I wouldn't trade my background for anything, because I also feel it helps me to be a chameleon, especially in business. Sure. I can, have business relationships with
anybody,
a tow truck company, or a CEO. I can chameleon back and forth.
When you went back with us for Easter, my mom the next day was like, oh, I hope it was nice enough for Megan, or I hope she didn't I hope her and, I hope they had a good time and all. I'm
My goodness.
Megan grew up in a smaller town than this.
Yeah.
Megan loves that. She's fine, you know? So
I love the simple
something
things.
Special about it.
I feel
I'll have to take you down.
Yeah.
Show you
Sometimes I feel
around.
we love the fast city. I mean, I still live in a small town right now.
Yeah.
But I have access to the city.
Right.
But there's something about just being able to see the stars.
Have a little nature around you,
Yeah.
a little bit of land,
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
What else could we tell our younger selves?
What about you, Carrie? Anything else?
Well,
I
think parenting. I think I always struggled. I think because we've talked about the mom work balance or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that was if I could tell, and we had babies, our first baby about the same age, Carrie. So around 29, and well, that was your second round.
No,
you were
I
younger.
was
Sorry,
a
second
young
time.
mom. I was a 19-year-old mom.
Yeah. So the second round, you're
Yeah.
two littles, but this is what I'm thinking of. But I just like, and maybe you can, because now with Spencer, so you probably think like, gosh, I was a lot better mom the second time around than how.
Rylan even points it out.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I didn't get any of that, or I didn't get to go to a private elite school and all this. I'm like, that's because you're the guinea pig and I was super poor. So what do you expect? I don't know. Just
you
give
did the best
grace.
with what you had.
You do. And I think you just appreciate, I don't know, me, like you're saying, like me, my children in my 30s versus 19.
Right.
I appreciated it and slowed down a lot more.
Do you ever feel like with me, I'm like I feel like I overcompensate sometimes.
Oh my gosh. With Brylan, I super overcompensated.
Because
so I learned my lesson.
Things as a child.
Yeah. I definitely learned my lesson with Brylan because I spoiled him a million times worse than my kids now. Mm-hmm. And so I had to break him of it eventually because he had no concept of money or anything. He just wanted it. He got it, you know, but he was an only child for a long time too. So I don't know. I overcompensated.
Will they have to heal from that kind of
Yes.
From our overcompensation.
I threw a Lego box at his head one time. So he'll be talking about that in counseling one day.
Because, you know, like growing up, we didn't really travel like that. We didn't, you know, we didn't have the money that.
And that's why I still try to include him in my vacations now because he didn't get a lot of that whenever he was the littles, like when he was their age. We didn't travel as much and see as much and all that. Like now I make it like a priority every year to take them somewhere. Yeah. So he didn't get that. So
because I told my kids, I'm like, do you guys know how lucky you are to even be at Disney? I went to Disney the first time you went to Disney.
Oh, that was my first time.
Like I'm like, I'll
never go back though. I didn't like it.
I love it.
It was July. It was hot. It was
you
terrible.
have to get the perfect time.
If I went during January or something, like everybody says to go in January. So I don't know. I might try it one more time, but it was rough. Ooh. Yeah. I had the feet thing that you were talking about.
You have to find the perfect time.
Yeah.
Not during summer.
You enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah.
You were struggling a bit yesterday.
Yeah. I was. I'm almost there.
I feel like I have more patience. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have a lot, like being a mom.
Are you patient when you go to Disney?
No.
Oh.
No, I meant like in parenting. Like, no, I meant in parenting. Like from when I was 29 to having a baby almost 43, it's a big difference.
You are a patient
you know what I mean?
You're more patient now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's a way patient parent.
So impatient.
I was so impatient before. Like, and I'm not that I'm perfect, but like, now I just kind of tune Spencer out.
Yeah, I just tune him out.
Yeah, I just tune him out. Like my sister-in-law came and she would like be like, Megan. And I'm like, okay, make sure you have my attention. She'd just be talking or whatever. She's like, do you just tune me out? I'm like,
who said that?
Jill, my sister-in-law. And so I was like, well, yeah, I have at the time, 3-year-old. I'm like, yeah, like, do you see how crazy?
Megan's tune-out game is strong. Like, I'll have to be like, sometimes. She can tune anybody out.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like,
because she's always doing like 10 things at once. So you got to like really like get her attention.
I need to work on my patience. Maybe that's what it is.
We've discussed this.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
Don't pray for it.
Might need some breathing exercises.
Trent and my sister always tell
I think when you're doing like, I think
just multitask.
I think you just need to sit in the floor, like when you're having a moment.
And put your hands up. What are you supposed to say, Megan?
Yeah, just sit in the
floor. What do you say?
I'll give myself to you.
Yeah. What do you say?
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, I don't want to fight. Remember? I don't want to fight.
Yeah, tell your younger self that.
Yeah, be like, just lay down and be like, I just
she would roll her eyes straight up at you.
I just want you to listen to me. Tell your kids that and lay down. Or
that'll get their attention. They'll be like, what
oh
the hell?
My God. They'll probably like, something's wrong with my mom.
You know when you do something real crazy and they're like, just lay on the floor and see how long it takes for them to calm down.
Just tell your kids you're revolting and be like, hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go, like that. And then they'll be looking at you like, Mom, like, no, I'm off duty right now.
Man, kids are like the biggest gaslighters ever. I mean, like they will like push your button, and you're like patient. And then when you lose your shit, they're like, oh, why are you yelling at me? Even you're like thinking like, am I a bad mom? Am I crazy? Like, am I like impatient?
It's so funny because Maya was like, I love you, Mom. Thanks for taking me to Disney. You're the best mom ever. 2 minutes later, I hate you, Mom. I need a different mom. I want a better mom that makes me do fun things.
Oh my gosh.
She already forgot about
Yeah.
It's like selective amnesia.
I'm like, good gosh. So I just tune it out.
Yeah.
Tune out strong.
Tune out strong.
Yeah.
Block strong.
Yeah.
No strong.
Just wait till you're in your 40s. It gets stronger.
How old am I? 37.
How old are you? 37?
37.
Yeah, so just wait. It gets stronger. You just stop caring.
That's why I'm just, honestly, I think that's why me and Trent do so well together is because he is the patient one. Mm-hmm. If it gets too much for me, I'm like, you got it. I'm done.
And then he'll swoop in.
Yeah, he'll swoop in and know how to talk.
It's like a relay race.
Yeah.
Handoff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I'm gassed.
But the thing about it is like you could try to give your younger self all this advice, and I'm sure people did give us this advice.
Yeah.
But the thing about young kids is like they have to go through it. They
Right.
have to see through it. Like they do not take advice. That's the thing.
Yeah, if you would have tried to give me advice, I'd be like, what?
No,
I'm good.
No.
You know, and I made so many bad decisions.
you just have to do it.
Yeah, I look back and I'm like, I'm lucky to be sitting here at
Yeah.
46.
And you know
like,
the crazy truth is we could go back and say we want to do things over, but then we've learned so much from it that it's molded us to be who we are today.
I don't know. I wish I could go back with what I know now and then go back.
But then you wouldn't be the person that you are today.
Correct. True.
You know?
yeah, but you might be a better version.
But what could be, I know, but what could be better than you? You can't, you know,
You're right.
like
That's a
you
problem
can't
with my.
hope- yeah, you
It's my
can't-
personality. It's never enough.
You can't want to be
Same.
better than what you are now. I mean, you want to grow.
Oh, there's so many areas I can grow.
Megan, like with you, like just in the
like
past
I'm
6
in
months,
trouble.
I've seen a huge different person. And I don't know if that is because you're shedding
I love it.
the what, you know, a skin or something, you know, I don't know, like
think
you're
you
just
just
letting
don't-
go of the relationship and you're finally coming to terms with it and you've learned a lot in your co-parenting class and everything like that. So I don't know. I think you've had huge growth this year.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
just don't think I realized like how much. I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize like how much I was carrying.
And
You
you'll
know what I mean?
realize probably way more,
Yeah.
you know, whenever it's finally over and said and done. But I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of all of you guys. I'm proud of us for continuing this podcast.
I can't believe it.
I know.
I know. I'm impressed.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Thank
To
you
our
guys.
younger selves, let's
Yeah.
keep aging like fine wine.
Well, thank you guys for listening in today. We really appreciate it. Follow us on all of our socials. What are they?
Got Her Back podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.